Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Yixiang Wang, and today I'm going to introduce a very topical and progressive trend in the market, the digital supply chain. So at the beginning, I would like to give a definition and relevant technologies to build the digital supply chain. I'll further introduce the benefits, challenges, and finally, I'll give you the supply chain 4.0, which is the most progressive supply chain system in the market. So, the traditional supply chain is a very straightforward system. From supplier to customer, the values are delivered straightly. It's easier to establish. However, it has a problem that it cannot satisfy the current customer's demand. The current customer's demand are changeable and uncertain. So the system needs to be more flexible to satisfy the current need and want. Also, it has a very serious problem, which is any parts damages will affect the whole system to be shut down. So we need to create a new system to face the situation. And the answer is digital supply chain. The digital supply chain are creating a net to link the whole system to each other. It's not a line, but it's a net. In that case, each part of the supply chain are not linked to each other. Are linked to every part. Are linked to every other part. They are transferring their information to each other, and they are giving the feedback to each other. And any parts damages will not affect the whole system. So the definition of digital supply chain is an intelligent, value-driven network that leverages new approaches with technology and analytics to create new forms of revenue and business value. In other words, the digital supply chain are changing the supply chain from series to parallel. In order to build the digital supply chain, there are several kinds of enablers of technologies. For example, the 3D printing technology. As we all know, it can provide new production locations, a new supplier configurations, and it are creating a new kinds of manufacturing methods. And also the sensors and the geolocations. It's very useful while in the distributing process. It can deliver where the goods are, how long it's going, where is it, and giving the feedback and information to the customers and also the suppliers. And also the big data technology. In my point of view, the core part of the digital technology, digital supply chain, because it can be useful to take the demand forecasting, the capacity planning, and also it can be used to the route line optimizations to let the companies to easier optimize their system use, and also let each part to transferring their current informations, and also the cloud services which are linked to the big data, and also the robotics. It's also very useful to deliver the values which can be very efficient and very it can effectively lower the cost. And the digital supply chain have several benefits. First of all, it can create a demand-driven supply chain. The demand-driven supply chain is the most ideal driven system in the market. However, it's impossible to be built without the digital. So the digital supply chain are allowed the supply chain system to be more flexible, faster, more accurate, and more system. To be more precisely, it can give the company to be more forward-looking. It can help them easier to take the forecast of the demand to make them take their planning. And also it can optimize the supply chain lead time to be more efficient, and also it can avoid the shortage or surplus, which it can be more accurate to take the forecast, and also it can enables each department to share their information. However, the digital supply chain are facing several challenges because not all the companies can implement the digital supply chain successfully. In other point of view, according to the survey, only 25% of companies are fully making use of the digital supply chain. In other words, for most of the companies, the digital supply chain are not make full use by them, which causes the kind of waste of data. So how to avoid the waste of data? Um, First of all, the challenges is to confirm the digital version in the supply chain model, because the supply chain model are different in different aspects of the market. So for the companies, if you want to build your own digital supply chain, you need to establish your own supply chain model and think about where to implement the data, where to implement the data technologies in your own supply chain model. In that case, which can avoid to the waste of data, and also it's a challenge to take the digital technology investment and development, because the digital supply chain enables several kinds of current technologies, which is necessary for the companies to take full investments and development to make the innovation of the current technologies. And also, the company needs to have the complete ERP system. Some companies have not complete ERP system, which lead to the fact that the department cannot get the newest information of each other, which will result to the fact that the lead time will be longer, or which will cause the waste of time and materials. Okay, so the supply chain 4.0, it's a part of industrial 4.0 established by the Germany. It's more focusing on the forecasting, and it's caring more about their delivery of values. They are used more developed technologies to make the forecast. For example, like combining the sales, prices, product, welfare, promotions, channel, and events, and they are delivering the informations mostly on mobile instead of the computer, which improves the flexibility. And the factories are linked to each part of the supply chain instead of the warehouses. The factories are linked to the suppliers, not only warehouse but also suppliers, distributors, and also the customers. And also the way of delivering the values are also different. We can see according to the pictures, like it are using the drone, and also the electronic robots with the locating system, which will let the customers and suppliers know where the goods are and how well it's going, which can be effectively improves the efficiency and lower the cost. So here's my speech. Thank you for your attention.